Spazz on WFMU.
Hey, you're tuned to WFMU-TV Video Magazine, 91.1, WFMU from Uppsala College, East Orange. I'm Dave The Spazz, taking you on a journey through this episode of FMU-TV. We got a lot of stuff on this one. Oh boy, meditations and deep thoughts concerning the Three Stooges and death. The Rats of Unusual Size, their historic meeting of one-minute painter Morris Katz. Some other stuff, and we're going to start off with Joe Franklin first, with a mustiness nabob of nostalgia. Joe Franklin.
Okay, my friends, this is Joe Franklin, your good friend, and you're listening to Dave The Spazz on Music to Spazz by, on listener-supported WFMU, Uppsala College, East Orange, New Jersey. Thank you, my friend. Joe Franklin, forever.
Okay, yeah, I'll admit it. I was on the Joe Franklin show. I'm not ashamed. Not too much, at least. It just seemed like the thing to do at the time after watching this guy, nostalgic dwarf, for years and years. It just seemed like anybody could get on the show. Thought I'd give it a chance and just I'd see for myself what comprised the material on top of Joe Franklin's head. Well, let's take a look at this over here. Let's see what makes the guy tick.
Mellow voice. Arthur Godfrey, his microphone.
Okay, well, this was back in the days when Joe used to open up his show sitting on a stool out in front. He had an hour-long show before Arsenio came along, and they cut Joe down to size. So Joe would be sitting out there just driving the camera crew crazy. They never knew where to find him. They put the makeup on him and do all sorts of lighting effects, and then Joe would just disappear for a last-minute something in some other room and pop up out of nowhere and sit out on that stool, and they just start filming show number 5. Do like 5 shows in a row on a given day out in Secaucus, New Jersey. And Joe, he had a whole stack of books stacked up right next to him, and I had this little thing called Rock and Roll Equations, which basically was just a Xerox thing I was selling down at sea here in the city, and he at one point he has a lot of trouble trying to grab for it because there's all these cheesy hardcover books, and it was just so painful just sitting merely like 2 or 3 feet away from him, just watching those stubby little Joe Franklin fingers stumble and try to find that. Oh, here it is. He's looking for it.
Happenings known as Rock and Roll Equations.
He's a happening guy.
Here, which I'll show you in a moment. And I've got Miss Nora York, who is getting this is Mr. Abramson's book, which is also a radio and TV syndicated series. I think it's going to be kind of fun. I've got Nora York, who began on our show about a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
What are we seeing first?
Here I am. Well, you don't see me, but I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there in the Bing Crosby chair just watching these guys. These guys who have even less reason to be there than me, just holding up really badly mounted photographs of your rock and roll legends taken from the audience, and there they are in the Joe Franklin show, holding them up and stuff. Wait, we got when they get to the Roy Orbison picture.
Last photos of Roy Orbison.
Yeah,
that's a great sound that Joe makes. I remembered that for like years later. That not really thinking of something really appropriate to say about the last photo of Roy Orbison. These guys got the distinction of it. I can't stand them. This was bad, but at least I was in the chair next to the man. He's going to start to acknowledge me in about a minute or so. Yeah. You know, you can't choose your guests on the Joe Franklin show. You just they choose you.
Dave Abramson of East Orange, of radio station.
WFMU, 91.1.
Right, that's the home of
Dionne Warwick.
And you?
And me.
I coaxed him on the Dionne Warwick thing. Oh, this is bad. Actually, just being on the show, to tell you the truth, just made me physically ill. I first put out got all Rock and Roll Equation. There you go. And a fashion tip: just don't put guys with long hair in ties. It's never going to work. So don't even think about it. As a matter of fact, I was kind of feverish, and I was eating a bagel with butter just before the show. And if we just still it here for a second, we can find the piece of butter. There it is. There's a piece of butter hanging right from my hair over there, and so I just thought I'd just show you that, because that was just hanging there for a long time, and
John Cougar
I feel
Mellencamp.
kind of proud. Joe said to me before I came on the show, he's like, yeah, I don't really understand the equations, but put me in one of them. I like to be in one of them. So I concocted something for Joe to figure out over there.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Okay, yeah.
We have Miles Davis.
Miles
divided by
Davis
Oscar
and,
the Grouch equals Johnny Mathis.
Little flashcards
Okay.
for Joe Franklin.
Sure, go right ahead.
It's kind of looks like the creation scene.
Yeah.
Me and Joe at either end of the equations.
Doodles Weaver and William Demarest.
L. Brendel. He carried the
Watch his eyes
three
roll
to L.
back in his head.
Brendel.
I'm curious, what is Joe Franklin and Billy
It's
Crystal?
L. Brendel. Joe knows who L. Brendel is, but he just hasn't heard anybody say the words in at least a day.
New kids on the block and Eddie Cantor.
Jesse
And Eddie
Nash.
Cantor. The Barry Boys. Of course.
Joe asked me to give him a whole bunch of equations in advance, all written down, and he got them wrong. He read them all different. But that's Joe's technique. And I can appreciate that personally. The idea of misreading cue cards.
Equals Ethel Merman. Phil Silvers plus Ozzy Osbourne equals Al Lewis. Little Richard minus
They love
Ma
it.
Rainey
They love
equals
it. The
Marvin
kids.
Hamlish. Now, this is a good one. I like this one. Waylon Jennings minus Merle Haggard equals Peter Jennings. Muddy Waters plus Tiny Tim
We're getting to the
equals
Joe
Prince. Sammy Hagar
here we
plus
go.
Harry Von Zell equals Joe Franklin. How'd that get in there?
Do you do this on your radio show, too?
Yes,
Joe, well, here we're coming right up to the whole reason why I went on the show in the first place, and that was to hand this guy a T-shirt.
Official WFMU T-shirt. Everybody there is a big fan of yours, and we just love your show. And this is just, if you would like to.
Oh
You're
yeah.
going to write about him in one of your columns? Charlotte Chandler is our...
Joe tried to sue this guy, Drew Friedman, who drew pictures of him. He was a little paranoid about it,
You
and
get the flavor here?
it was just kind of nice handing him that shirt. Felt like I was doing something
Groucho
special.
Marx and she wrote the famous book on Groucho. Groucho Marx and Chico Marx.
You get Gummo Marks, of course.
When in doubt,
Any good play,
invoke
people are-
the Gummo word.
What they should go see.
I'm glad I really got a good one. You say a good word.
The man, Joe Franklin. He's getting tired of me. He's going to move down the couch now.
Your skis film.
Joe Franklin's favorite show is the Dave The Spazz show. Oh, David? Dave The Spazz show. That's the program at FMU that Joe Franklin really likes.
Call me Morris Katz. I'll paint a landscape just like that. A sunny fjord, a grassy glen. By the time you stretch a canvas, I'll finish 10. Morris Katz. Morris Katz. Morris Katz. Morris Katz. Go, Tom. Yeah. Rip it up.
This is one of the great composers of the year. Beethoven, Tchaikovsky is here.
Morris Katz. Morris Katz. Morris Katz. Yeah. Morris Katz. Whoa.
Is there a meow in the audience?
Yeah.
Congratulations, thank you. From here on, you're going to Hollywood. You're going to get the major shows and the minor shows. Congratulations, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Morris.
In 1989, several non-commercial radio stations fired a legal bullet at WFMU 91.1 in East Orange, New Jersey. It seems they wanted to increase their power, so they sent their lawyers looking for a station whose power they could reduce. And ever since then, these stations have been bullying WFMU with endless legal motions, hoping to plead WFMU of cash before a hearing could even be convened. Will WFMU and its listeners be able to bounce back? Can WFMU survive this legal nightmare? Stay tuned.
Maybe we ought to stop for coffee or something. No, forget it. But I'm falling asleep, and you can hardly keep your eyes open. You can't get coffee on 71. You have to get off the highway to get it, and who wants to waste time? Yeah, but you just missed that car. Stop worrying. I'm okay. Turn the radio on.
WFMU.
Okay, we just saw a trailer from that communication law exploitation classic, The Case. Hopefully no sequels to that one. And just before that, a couple of unsavory characters I have the pleasure of knowing, and I can pretty much recommend them without any reservation. Rats of Unusual Size, with their on-the-spot ode and homage to Morris Katz. That was recorded, by the way, last year at the FMU Art Auction down in Soho. We'll be getting some more from the Rats in just a little bit. Right now, Stooge Elegy. It's a piece that's based on one particular quote from Mo Howard in particular. There we go. From Mo Howard from his book, 1974 Citadel Press, Mo Howard and the Three Stooges, and I quote, "Every time I smacked or poked Shemp, I was seeing Curly." Mo was smacking one stooge and seeing another. He was completely confused. He didn't know what was going on. This is years before Joe Besser. And you could say that this piece captures the sadness and confusion that was in the mind of Mo Howard.
Is he hurt? He's gone. The poor kid.
WFMU.
All right, don't take this the wrong way. Baby used to love me, used to hold me tight. Tell me what's the reason she screams at me each night. She's on the rag, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's on the rag, yeah, woo. She's on the rag, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's on the rag, yeah, woo. She's on the rag, yeah. Baby drives me crazy. She never makes no sense. She never lets me sleep at night. Why is she so tense? She's on the rag, yeah, 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 yeah. She's on the rag, yeah, woo. She's on the rag, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's on the rag, yeah, woo. She's on the rag, yeah. Go, Tom. Okay. I want her flowers and candy. You know, I really tried, but if she can't forget the things I did, there's only one reason why. She's on the rag, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's on the rag, yeah, woo. She's on the rag, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's on the rag, yeah, woo. She's on the rag, she's on the rag, yeah. She's on the rag, yeah.
And we'll see you at the benefit.
Rats of unusual size.
Morris Katz, everybody!
And that last song was, of course, called She's on the Rag, and it was begun with, don't take this the wrong way. As if anyone possibly could.
And we just heard the Rats of Unusual Size doing yet another song, On the Rag. And that one and the Morris Katz tribute song, they're both up from the new Rats record. Id Ego, Super Ego, and Burns on Skyclad Records. Rats of Unusual Size, my friends. Okay, now before that was the Three Stooges. Three Stooges dealing with death in Stooge Elegy. By the way, you're watching WFMU-TV. I'm Dave The Spazz, your host for this segment. And coming up, Dogbowl.
Revolution of the homeless.
All right, well, that does it for another episode of WFMU-TV. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to listen to WFMU Radio at 91.1. Uppsala College. Just keep listening and supporting the station. And I'm Dave The Spazz, and I'm going to continue to be Dave The Spazz. I'm getting out of here. Let me out of here. Let me out of this box. Get me out of here. See you later.
Yes, they were lucky, those two young people. May you be so lucky. But do not trust to luck at the full of the moon. When the night is dark, make a wide path around the unholy grounds of the night people. Who can say that we do not exist? Can you? But now, we return to our graves, and you may join us soon.